Sarah, good to see you. And the first question, how is a normal off-season day look like?
I'm not getting much of an off season this year, unfortunately. Um, but lately, so my off season this year will just be a couple weeks long. Um, but I wake up without an alarm, and that's amazing. And then I've just been doing some workouts like 3 times a week just to stay in shape. Um, it involves I actually get to see my friends, so I'll go to lunch with my friends or I'll play pickleball. I've been going for lots of walks. Um, Doing puzzles is always fun, so I'm doing a puzzle, reading my books, cooking a lot, just things that I don't always have time to do when I'm in season.
So reading books is more a winter task for you.
Well, in the summer, I'm on planes a lot, so I get a lot of reading done in the summer. But to be able to sit on my couch and read a book with some coffee is a winter thing.
You played with Mel, like we all know, for the last years, and you won titles and have good results. But now you decided to end this team area. So, what was the main reason to end this area and split with Mel?
It was not my decision, so you will have to ask somebody else about that.
Ah, okay, that's I will try to do. I Yeah, that was the question. Maybe there was a strategy a decision, but okay, good. So then I jump directly to the next question. So you now team up with Sophie Bukovic. She was playing as defense player last season, her first time as a defense player with Brandy, and also improved fast. So, what was the main reason to pick her and not maybe some other young player? I think there could be someone in Canada. So, what was the main reason to pick her?
To be completely honest with you, Sophie approached me. Um, her and Brandy had been, improving and, they were having a decent season, especially with their world championship result. When Mel and I split, I was kind of hanging back trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And I obviously had been observing and watching Sophie, and I'd been really impressed with her improvement, but I was not going to step in and try to stop what they were doing. But things happened, and I think some conversations were had on the other side, and so Brandy ultimately decided to leave Sophie to play with Mel at the end of October, which, yeah, I wasn't really expecting. I was preparing to play. I was in the process of training with several other Canadian girls at that time, trying to figure out who I could try to make an Olympic run with. And so it was kind of unexpected for me because I was trying to take care of my own side of things and prepare to find somebody to play with. But yeah, Sophie called me one day and said that Brandy left her. And so she asked me if I would play with her. And it was a very easy yes for me, for a number of reasons. I think that Sophie's incredibly athletic. She's very, very hardworking. I think that she can get so much better still. Like, she's a great player, but I think she can still get so much better, which is exciting. I think, you know, on the court, those things are obvious, but even with the short timeline going to Olympic qualification, I think we're a great selection for each other because we both have points. We've both played at the Elite 16 level. So, you know, it was really easy for me to say yes to Sophie.
Okay, so you first tried to find somewhere else because the team with Brandy and Sophie not have split during this time, and then Sophie called. Okay, so in terms of points, it's quite good because you both have many points. So I don't know if you already looked at this, but you also would be able to directly play in the Elite 16 part events, right?
Yes, we should, because Sophie is still holding on to her world championship finish. I'm holding on to my first place in Latvia. I'm holding on to my world championship finish. So we have points, and everybody else in the world is almost going through their world championship points already. So we should be able to enter the Elite 16 main draw right away.
Okay, that's
a very important, an important thing.
I would say a good thing. I would say, but it's an important thing, and it makes it maybe also a little bit easier to accept that you can't play for the big money end of January in Doha, right? How sad
No,
is this?
I mean, I think for both me and Sophie, the fact that we aren't in that, like, that's out of our control. Decisions were made that were out of our control and that took us out of that. Like, I was only able to play 5 FIVB tournaments this year. And I fully planned on playing Hamburg. I planned on being in Paris. But like I said, it was out of my control. So I'm sad because correct me if I'm wrong, I think I'm the only player in the world who's played every World Tour final event. So, like, the thought of missing one is really sad because I've played every single one. And Sophie had a great finish at World Championships, so I know that she really wanted to go. We're going to apply for the wild card and, you know, hopefully be able to do that. But yeah, it's disappointing.
Yeah, but maybe in the future and in the end, it comes together with you, both player who planned in a different way. But when you now team up together, maybe there will be other events and other titles you will claim. Do you saw the improvement of Sophie during the season already? That would be a question.
I did. I think, you know, I told her this too. Like, I saw her at the very beginning in Toronto when she was just starting in the position. And I was very curious how her transition to a defender would go. And I was very impressed at how she was able to make the transition and her really fast improvement and growth. I'm always paying attention to things that are going on with Canadian teams, with other teams, with my own team. And I was impressed at how she was able to improve.
And how would the practice ramp up look like? I think Sophie is back in Toronto, staying in shape and practice, and you are still, and you live still in Hermosa. How is the ramp up planned, and when do you first practice together?
So we're gonna start our preseason on Monday. I'm heading to Toronto in 2 days, or no, tomorrow. I'm heading to Toronto tomorrow.
Okay.
And we're gonna start our preseason on Monday. We're gonna train until Christmas, and then start immediately again in the new year. So the reason that our start is a little offset is because I didn't have any time off. After Commonwealth Games, immediately went and was playing AVPs And then immediately after that, I was in Toronto trying to find a partner. So I didn't take any time off this year. So I took these couple weeks to recharge, whereas Sophie was off immediately after Paris. So she had the entire month of October to recover. So that's why we're kind of offset a little bit. But we are coming together on Monday, and we're going to start very fast.
Okay. Sounds good. And in Toronto, I don't know the situation, but when you're there, you also have there. I bet you have a place to stay, but how close is it? Is it to a home, or do you have then there an Airbnb, or how is it planned when you're not at home and practice for a long time?
So I grew up an hour away from Toronto. My husband also grew up an hour away from Toronto in the other direction. So when we are in Toronto, we rent an Airbnb. It's, not ideal, but for driving in that city, it's crazy. So, I just rent an Airbnb near the training facility while I'm there and go see my parents on the weekends.
Yeah, that's also the good thing. You can visit your parents, and they will be happy to see you more often compared to the rest of the season. And you don't need to book the expensive Christmas flights when you already fly tomorrow.
It's true. They're getting expensive already, let me tell you.
The coach topic. So I think everyone had who will be your coach? I think Sophie already had their coach stopped or go to other contract. So what is the idea in terms of coach?
So the coach that was working with Melissa and I is coming with me and Sophie.
Okay.
So Sergeant Veskov, he's Serbian, but he's worked in the German system. He coached Carla and Britta in Rio, and more recently was with Kim Behrens and Sandra Ittlinger. So he worked with us last season, and I got him in the divorce, I guess.
Okay, but that's good. At least one static factor you can rely on. And your husband is also inside the team, right?
He's actually working with the Canadian men. So he helps us when he's available, but he's actually working with Sam Schachter and Dan Deering.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's also good. So also good new challenges for him. So yeah, but always good to have someone on site when you need, right?
He's around. He's available, but he's not directly working with us.
What are the things you're looking for off and on court with Sophie? Always independent from how the split run. If you have a new partner, it's some new challenges, so to say, on and off court. So, and hopefully also nice things. So, what are you looking forward for?
I'm really excited. I think that, like I said before, Sophie is incredibly athletic, and her improvement has been seen even over the course of one season in her new role. So I'm just so excited to see not only her improvement, but just like my own as I learn some new tools and add some new tools to my game. I think the dynamic on the court, just from a skills perspective, will be very different. I think we will be a very offensively minded team, which is really cool. We are both incredibly motivated for a number of reasons. And And so I'm just excited to build something new. I love building and helping like a team grow. I think I'm really excited about that. But I think, the goals don't change. My goal has always been, every tournament I'm in, I want to win. But then the ultimate goal is to win the Olympic gold. And, I am just really, really excited to work towards that. There are 100% more positives in this than negatives. And I'm really excited to see what we can do together because I think the potential is definitely there.
Every time when I talk with Sophie, there's no doubt that she is all in and really excited to play. And I don't think that this will change just because she's not playing with Brenny anymore. So I think this is a good starting point for a new team. But you already told us that Paris 24 is a big goal. You've done a few Olympic qualification runs. How difficult do you see the qualification this time? Do you also expect more new teams to come in, or maybe some new teams already come together as new teams? Do you expect some teams to split, maybe also of some of the new teams?
I think, first of all, the fact that we will be starting in the Elite 16 helps a lot with the qualification process.
That's right. Yeah.
That was the big thing that I was concerned about initially, was just like how to fight into that and then stay there. But I think, obviously we have to take care of our stuff, but to have the foundation of starting in the Elite 16, I think is key. The women's field is very deep now. There are so many good teams. And different teams are winning all the time. It's not like how it used to be where you could predict who would be in the Final Four. Like now it's completely open all the time. So it will be very, very important to really take advantage and maximize the chances we have of going deep in tournaments. Some new teams have come out. You saw that Rebecca and Agatha are going to play together. Talita and Tamila, her new partner. Sarah and Kelly, like you have the question, like everybody is like, is Alex and April going to come back? Like there's just a lot of things kind of floating around. But I think, I would be surprised if you see any more splits happen. I think it's getting to crunch time to kind of make those decisions. So I would personally be surprised if new teams are formed now, or if splits happen. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who comes back, who doesn't come back. But it's going to be a grind. Every single tournament's going to matter, which I think is very exciting.
Yeah, I agree. There have been already some surprises of new teams, Kelly and Sarah back together. And just today, the Germans also moved their teams. So the women teams just shuffled. So switch partners. But and then no one knows what April is doing. And I think it's like every year, first of all, we all need to see what events will come and how many. And that's the difficult thing. You don't know during a qualification phase when you play beach volleyball, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I think, the initial calendar draft 1 was released. I'm sure we'll get to draft 8 eventually, but
yeah, right.
Hopefully there will be a good selection of tournaments to choose from.
You played some AVPs with different partners. You played with Tina once, and also the Phoenix event you played with
Zana Muno.
Zana. How was it to play at the AVP?
So I played Manhattan Beach, then I played Chicago, then I played Phoenix. But Phoenix they have their Gold Series events. And so you technically had to play with the same partner for all of those. And they take your top 2 results out of those 3, and they qualify 6 teams out of that. So I obviously played with not the same partner for any event. So I was like out of contention completely. But Zana was actually Brandy's partner throughout the whole AVP season. And they qualified based on their results, but for whatever reason, Brandy decided that she didn't want to play Phoenix. And so Zana was allowed to ask to bring in a replacement player because she earned the spot. And so she asked me, and I was like, absolutely. I was very excited.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looked
Sorry.
good. It was in an indoor facility and with many spectators, and it was a little bit a mix of convention and tournament, right?
Yeah, it was in the Phoenix Suns arena.
Okay.
You cannot play outside in Phoenix at that time of year because you will literally pass away. It is too hot. So it was great. There were lots of people there. I would be down if the AVP ran more events inside because it was very fun. Yeah, and it was just a really good way to celebrate the end of the AVP season, even though there's one more happening, but it's okay. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And how was it to play Chicago with Tina? I think once or last time I talked with Nick Lucina back in the days, he said events on this beach in Chicago will be not happening so much in the future because the lake is coming to catch the sand, the area where you set it up.
A couple of years ago, the water levels were crazy high. This year they were back to normal, so we were okay. But I had the greatest time playing with Tina. It was like team offense. We just were passing for 2 for each other like the whole tournament. But even I am so happy about her. She's never played defense before, and she just stepped in and owned it, and we just worked together. And playing those AVP tournaments really brought the joy back to playing volleyball again. It had been something that was kind of missing for a little bit for me. And so to be able to have those experiences and just go out and compete and work hard, and I loved it. And Tina's a baller, and Tina, if you ever want to play again, you know that I'm here waiting.
That's good to hear. And I think it was just the week after Tina claimed the European Championship here, where they played in Munich and set up a big show. We learned Sophie is the partner. You're going for Paris. There will be no additional splits of actually new teams. If
there are, I'm running away. If there is, I'm done with the drama. I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, good, Sarah. So then, nice start in the new practice season, and
Thank you.
good. Have nice Christmas then back home.
Thank you.
Then I hope that we see us next summer.
It's great to talk to you too. I'll see you soon.